I ended up this way. When I was driving out of South Texas, my wife and my 6 kids were in our Suburban, and it's kind of tight. And so, as the kids get bigger, the seats don't get wider, and so we annoy each other. And the bigger ones especially, and I understand it, but we're traveling along, and on the way down there, things escalate. And, at different times, we say, come on, guys, come on. And so then we start to say, okay, when we get there, and everybody breaks up with their age group and runs off, you guys are going to go to the room. And then we say, okay, you're not just going to go to the room, but tonight after the team meeting, when we play this cool little game called Mission Impossible that they love, which is, play in the dark, they put black on, they hide glow sticks all throughout the woods, and you compete against other families so you can get the most. They love this game. I said, that's it. And one by one, no Mission Impossible. No Mission Impossible. No Mission Impossible. No Mission Impossible. There was 2 that were still alive and well when we got there. And one of them wasn't old enough, really. It's camp, my 5-year-old, and so he was just, asleep most of the time, and therefore not in trouble. But we got through the little team meeting, and so afterward we broke up and asked 3 questions. The very first question was, what was God's game plan for our sin? And so a couple of my more learned older ones seized upon this. God's game plan was to offer grace for his rebellious children. And they said, hey, Dad, what a great chance for you, and they didn't say this, but to cast a parable and to bring it alongside, and we can really experience the gospel. And I go, done. Great idea. I go, but here's the thing, is that God is gracious, right? Yeah, it's gracious, it's slow to anger, abounding in loving kindness. I go, keep quoting. But by no means does he let the sin of the guilty go unpunished. There is one among you who has earned through her righteousness freedom, while the rest of you are slaves to your sin. And if she will sacrifice her freedom, I will impute to you her righteousness, but she must die and go to the room. And Landry's looking at me, and she goes, what? And she says, Dad, if there be any other way, Father, right? And I just go, I can't do it any other way because I'm showing you God's game plan. And I go, I'll tell you what, Lance, I promise you, the life you have chosen is a good one. You have walked with your Father and pleased him in all respects. And I go, you will not, just trust me. Just trust me. Be obedient. Offer yourself up for your wicked siblings. And she looked me in the eye. She said, okay. If this cup can't pass, okay. And I said to the other 4, I said, but you got to do this. You got to look me in the eye. You got to confess that you're not worthy. You got to acknowledge that you should not get to play. And you got to ask that you receive Landry's righteousness. And I go, and by the way, how should this make you guys respond to Landry? It ought to make you very, very grateful for her. And it ought to make you want to love and serve her. Now, what I did is, as soon as they went off this little fleeting Mission Impossible, I said, Landry, come on, sit at the right hand of the Father. Let's go into town. And we're going to Albertsons, and we are loading up on every snack you love. And I'm going to give you the wealth that I have and give it all to you. And I'm telling you, the answer is yes. Okay, that's what I told her. And so we went in, and Landry got ice cream, popsicles, all the things that she loves throughout the store. We loaded it up. That little venture with $89 in snacks, okay? And we go back, and guess what we did later? When they got done with Mission Impossible, we invited the wicked into the inheritance of the righteous. They experienced her bounty, okay? And guess what happened a few days later? The next day they were wicked to her. They forgot her kindness. They didn't listen to me again. They deceived me with their lips. But Todd, being kind and gracious, guess what I did to God this week? I deceived him with my lips. I felt like I told him one thing, I did another. But God, to Todd and to you, being gracious, remembering that I'm just flesh. He said, Todd, tell him I love him. Tell him I'm not angry, but tell him to hold my hand and get his hand out of their pocket. I love him.